you have said Republicans have worked to essentially flip Democrats' attacks around, arguing that Trump is on the side of the American worker. And there are a lot of Republicans united on the very real threats to our national security, with some of these vital products being made overseas, pharmaceuticals and others. The big question here, though, is timeline. How long do you believe supporters of the president and this administration will be willing to hang tough?
Well, look, I think, Kelly, for supporters of the president, they will hang with him no matter what. They are, definitely his tried and true base that has always, come out in favor of him. The question is these independent voters, or maybe even some right-leaning voters who voted for Trump because of this issue of inflation. And, look, we're a year and a half away from the midterms, so a lot can happen between now and then. But if we're continuing to see inflation, plus the impacts of these tariffs, negative impacts of these tariffs by next fall in 2026, that's going to be, or I should say fall of 2026, that's not going to spell great news for a lot of these House Republicans facing re-election. Remember, President Trump doesn't have to face re-election in 2026. It's down the ballot that time. So they're going to have to answer for a number of these tariffs if they don't see any dividends from them. We're already seeing a number of Republicans get asked about this in their home districts, including Congresswoman Jen Kagan. She's in a toss-up district in Virginia. She was asked about this in a town hall on Wednesday after President Trump announced the tariff. So, it could go negatively, but it also could go positively. If we start to see President Trump starting to renegotiate a number of these trade deals and other countries wanting to come to the table, that gives Republicans leverage.
It certainly does. And you would imagine the administration has made those political calculations ahead of time. I want to dig in, though, because Democrats have been foreshadowing more forced votes to block these tariffs. We know 4 GOP senators voted to eliminate Canadian import tariffs. It's going to be a tougher road in the House, as you know. But what do you make of these moves so far and where all of this goes from here?
Well, look, I think a lot of Republicans are going to side with President Trump, obviously, but there are a number of Republicans who, have spoken out against these tariffs and who have raised a lot of concern, particularly Republicans coming from agriculture states, for example. So this is going to continue to be a major issue, as we see the House and the Senate trying to pass President Trump's agenda, which includes making the Trump tax cuts permanent. So this is something they're going to have to all consider when trying to move ahead.
Julia, before I let you go, there's been this breaking news, this deal now over newborn babies, mothers with newborn babies being able to vote from home. A lot of discussion around this topic. Now the speaker, the House Speaker, speaking out about it. What more do you know?
So we know that Anna Paulina Luna, the Republican congresswoman who broke with a lot of the GOP conference on this issue, has said she's made a deal with Speaker Mike Johnson on this issue. They seem to have come to the agreement over vote pairing. And essentially what this means is that if there were a member absent, for example, a new mother, she during a vote, she would arrange with another member on the opposite side of an issue, so potentially from another party, to essentially vote present or abstain from voting. So that way, the new mother's vote or the absent member's vote would not be canceled out. We've seen that this has been done in the House, as far back as 2003, I think is the most recent example we have. It was most recently used in the Senate, though, in 2018 during Justice Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation. Senator Steve Daines was away. He had to attend his daughter's wedding. So Lisa Murkowski from Alaska voted present instead of, casting a yes or no vote. So that's how it works. We'll see if this, sticks. We know that part of this deal also includes the possibility, this has been floated, of Johnson having a room set aside for nursing new mothers. So that's something, a potential development to keep an eye out for.
All right, and we certainly will. Julia Manchester, thank you for keeping us up to date. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.